I always wanted to own a gallery, and I thought there was some secret society of gallery owners or some kind of club you had to be in to open one, and you didn't.
Hey, this is Jeff Cutler from the With Jeff Show, and I'm with Kel Mahoney down here in Situate, Massachusetts at his photo shop. And Kel, give me a little background on this. This place is amazing. You have photos all over the place.
Yeah, more and more these days. We opened this shop, our gallery, in Situate Harbor 9 years ago. Our first location was on Cole Parkway. It was an experiment. Space was available. It was sort of right on the edge of the Front Street. Marilexi Salon is there now. We were there for a year. It wasn't as busy as Front Street, but it was busy enough for us to go, I think we can maybe, if we can find a spot on Front Street, let's open it up and move there and see what happens. And we've been here for 8 years.
So let's pull back the curtain a little bit and go to how we met. I mean, I was doing some copywriting and proofreading for the WearGuard Corporation, no longer around. And Kel was like an art director or a designer over at the company. Yeah. I don't know, you were doing art stuff, but
I started out there, I snuck in there as the geeky nerd guy, the Macintosh systems administrator back in '94.
Okay.
Not many people were Mac savvy, so I took that job. I moved up here for that job.
Where are you from originally?
New Jersey.
Okay. And
that's why I'm here.
But what were the hurdles?
The hurdles? The big hurdle was, how do you run a business? We had no idea. Melissa was still working full-time, and she was in retail, so she was a buyer for the New England Aquarium, so she kind of had that knowledge of retail buying and running, and I was the artist, so she was like the organizer, CFO, back end, and I was the creative guy, and we just took a risk.
What was your thought process? Because if you look around the room, you see a lot of local photography.
Yeah.
What was your thought process on maybe narrowing that focus, making it a niche right around the South Shore, and even a lot of Situate stuff here?
Yeah, because I mean Situate and Cohasset, and you know, some people will debate where my light is, but there's 2 lighthouses within 10 miles. So right away, boom, all of a sudden you have this beautiful surrounding area to photograph in, and you don't have to go far to take beautiful pictures in any season. But I mean, it all came together. I had the skills to Photoshop at web design. I didn't have to pay anybody to design our website. The area is just begging for pictures to be taken. I was pretty good at taking pictures, and it all worked out.
How did you build it to what it is now? I think you did some wedding stuff and event photography.
Yeah, we had
artistic.
I've been shooting weddings and families since I got laid off in 2000. And then, I was like, I think I always wanted to own a gallery. And I thought there was some secret society of gallery owners or some kind of club you had to be in to open one. And you didn't. You just had to be able to pay the rent on a space and put a sign up that says gallery. And that's what I did. And then, I started offering different things, putting photos. I wanted to do things that other photographers weren't doing. And I don't like copying people. I like doing stuff I like looking at what they're doing and saying, what can I do different? So mounting stuff and doing stuff differently was the plan, and it kind of paid off. One of the things that helped me and helped us is travel. If you're in photography, travel as much as your budget allows, as much as you can. Go out and take pictures wherever you go. There are trips I want to redo, because back then I didn't have the equipment that I have now or the knowledge that I have now. So I want to go back. I want to go back to Italy, because we went in 2001. I didn't have the lenses and cameras that I have now. I want to go back and retake those pictures. But the secrets to running and owning a business, I never took a business class in my life in college. I took all fine art and women across time. Don't know why I took that class, but I had to.
You were in college.
Exactly. But I wish I took more business courses. you know, if you got the skills to be creative, make sure you learn about the business side of it, because we were learning as we went. I worked in corporate America for a while. Maybe try that. See if it works for you. I knew it wasn't for me. I wanted to get out of corporate America. I wanted to be my own boss. So with that, we took the risk of renting a space. It wasn't a crazy big risk. Don't start out like, you know, on Newbury Street, $7 grand a month. Start small and see if it works. And if it works small, then you can take baby steps and go to a different spot and wait for a location to open.
Do you go take photos every day? Some people talk about the model, and this question is just coming to me. I'm thinking,
yeah.
Do you have to suffer for your craft, or does that come in stages and then you go do that?
That's a good question, because we started 9 years ago, but I had been shooting forever. I'd been professionally since 2000. So from 2000 to 2008, that's 8 years, I amassed a sort of a collection of images that I had. So that kind of, I'm like, you know, I have these images. How do I present them to people? How do I get them in front of people so that they can see them? So now that the business is up and running, I don't shoot every day. I wish I had the time, but we're running a business and dealing with customers and trying to get stuff out and deliver it on time. But I could. If I could, I would. I would shoot every day. Because in the location we're at, you know, I'm not a big cold weather guy, but there are opportunities everywhere to shoot in this location. South Shore is amazing. So you can, if you want to, shoot every day.
What's the most popular thing here? I look at different surfaces. I know I keep coming back to different surfaces that you print on, but what's the most popular? Because if you go to Newbury Street, Boston, or somewhere in San Francisco, or somewhere in New York City, you're going to find just prints that are framed and matted.
Yeah.
And in here you have stuff on canvas, you have stuff on tile, you have it on metal.
Yeah, metal is somewhat new. I mean, we've been doing it since the gallery opened, and the options and the finishes have evolved, and they come in a bunch of different finishes. But metals allow you to get custom size prints to meet any kind of size or piece of driftwood you have. I can get a piece of metal to mount it on rather than frame it. I see a lot of framed prints with mats, you know, and to me, if you buy a framed print on a mat, somebody else can buy that same exact thing and have it in the room at the same size. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't give it a uniqueness. If you find a piece of driftwood and mount it, a custom sized metal on it, it almost becomes one of a kind right there.
Got it. What would your advice be to people who want to do photography? They come in here, they're inspired, they buy some art, but they look at this stuff and they're like, okay, how do I get into this? How do I do photography?
I mean, there's so many people out there now that are good at it. I mean, we just took a risk and opened up a gallery. There's so many people out there that have good photos. They're trying to sell them online.
Yeah.
But people want to see these things in person. They want to see this, you know, somebody shopping online doesn't know what a 32 by 48 looks like, or a 16 by 24. It's hard to portray that online, so I wanted to have wall space to show people what sizes look like. So we just, I mean, there's spots for rent in Scituate. Anything nowadays, you know, it's 2017, you can get custom prints, custom metal sizes, custom wood prints, canvas sizes, wall clings. You can get prints on anything. And if you can find a creative way to display it or mount it, that's what works for us. People love the custom stuff, the unique mountings.
Well, the thing I smiled at earlier was when I was walking around the shop, and if you look at the video right now, you'll see me pulling back the shower curtain that has a print on it, which it's amazing that you can print stuff on anything.
Yeah. There's a fine line between like getting cheesy with what you can print your photos on and what looks cool, and it's, you know, you have to make sure that what you're doing has a quality to it rather than a cheesiness to it. And the shower curtains, you see, oh, I can print my image on a shower curtain, but with the right image in the right bathroom, it's a beautiful thing.
there's one thing you would tell an aspiring photographer, advice-wise, what would it be?
Try and do things differently than what a lot of other people are doing. Take pictures. Don't go to the same spots that everybody goes to. Go out and find different angles. I photographed the Scituate Lighthouse 5,000 times. I try to find different angles, and those are the most popular prints. The ones that people don't realize where they're taken from, or just go out and be a little different. There's so many people out there that are taking the same photos from the same spots that are easy to get to. Go to the spots that are hard to get to. Go out when it's stormy out.
Does equipment hold people back? I mean, do you have to have the billion-dollar camera?
No.
Do you have to have the good stuff, the good equipment to do it?
I have a camera that I'm shooting with that's still 10 years old.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are cameras out now. Megapixels are great if you want to get large metal prints, but don't let the technology... you can get a giant-sized print from a camera that's a full-frame camera that's 12 megapixels. So, you know, the fact that you think that maybe you need 36 megapixels or 40 megapixels, you don't. It just takes up a lot of storage, and it probably doesn't shoot as fast. But no, I still have a camera that's 10 years old that I shoot. Some of these photos I could probably point. Some of these are iPhone photos. Some of these are the 12 megapixel full-frame cameras I have. iPhone. 10-year-old camera, iPhone, 10-year-old camera, iPhone. Yeah, so I have those, so I have to move those.
Who is your, that's good. Who is your typical customer, if you have one?
I'd say new homeowners who live in the area, who want something for their walls that's Scituate-based, or people that have moved away from Scituate, who come back. And want something, you know, in their Florida home or their vacation home that's not in Scituate, to be reminded of the town.
What's your favorite photo that you've taken ever?
Ever.
And I know this, taking photos myself. There are some photos I take, and I look at it after the fact, and I'm like, how in the world did I even capture that? And it becomes your favorite, but you couldn't even replicate it.
Right, yeah,
So,
based on the light in the day and the clouds or whatever, yeah.
But what's your favorite image?
Well, to be cliche, it's one of my favorite ones is on the wall in the gallery. It's a huge, it's a giant 60 by 40 inch print of my baby daughter's face, her eyes. People love it, they compliment it, they talk about it, but that's my favorite one of my daughter. But my favorite one for the gallery might be one of, I'll grab it off the wall, go off camera. Probably this one.
Why?
It's a different shot. It's one of those ones, so many people have pictures of the supermoon. And I have a lot of pictures of whales. So one day I was looking at my photos of whales, and I'm like, you know what? If I had a supermoon in that photo, that's something different. Nobody else is going to be shooting this at that time. So my buddy Chris Jordan and Eric Reitmeyer, Chris had his boat still in the water in November. He was up for going out. He took us out to Stellwagen. The conditions were perfect. I always try to go out when the moon is rising and the sun setting at the same time. And the whales were there, and it was just perfect.
That's great.
So I love whales. I love moon rises, and it all came together. Not one other person in the world was where we were at that time. And here we go. Here's a photo that nobody else has.
So what's the future going to bring for you? What are the future plans? I mean, do you do this for another couple of years and retire? Do you go...
Yeah,
no, you have a bunch of photos of Ireland on the walls now.
True.
Which is fantastic.
We're trying to branch off a little bit. What I'm trying to do is bring other artists, other crazy talented artists into the gallery slowly and see what people like. Obviously, my favorite photo was of the whale tail. I'm sneaking in more and more art based on whales. You know, the dream would be to have a gallery on Nantucket or Newport, but you know, Nantucket's a pretty difficult commute.
Yep.
We're not there yet, but you know, there's no talk of retirement or anything. But the goal is to maybe shoot weddings, I shoot families, the goal is to do less of that and do, grow the gallery.
Yeah. How do people get in touch with you? Where are you located? Where are you on social media?
All over social media, maybe not as much as I should be, but I'm on Facebook. We have a gallery page there. Instagram, kelm.com, my KJELD, it's a little tricky to spell, KJELDN on Instagram. Kel Mahoney Photography on Facebook. I tweet here and there, but...
and then if they're driving around the area, if they want to pop into the shop, what's the story here?
We are right on Front Street in Situate Harbor, the main street in the harbor where all the shopping stores are. We're right next to the toy store, across the street from Sylvia's. We've been here for 8 years. People love walking by the windows. Every first Friday, every month in Situate, come down to the gallery and check it out. And we've been here for 8 years.
Congrats.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thanks for watching this episode of With Jeff. This is Jeff right here, and I'm inviting you on all my journeys in 2018. Find out more by going to youtube.com/Jeff Cutler. Hit me up on Twitter @Jeff Cutler, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks again, and take care. Happy New Year.
Another day in the city, and 1 month from the phone. Another week on those side streets, another hour alone. I was a fact.